when will he be considered greater than Sir Alex Ferguson if he stayed in the Premier League?
I just think they're very different, and they're from different eras. It's like saying, is Sir Alex Ferguson better than Bill Shankly or them guys? You can start going through names like that. It's very difficult to compare. I just think we have to say, listen, Pep in this era has been the best. The difference with Pep Guardiola, for me to everybody else, is that we have a generation of coaches now from the top of the pyramid right down to Sunday League football all over the world that are trying to play a particular way that he set out. I don't know anyone other than Johan Cruyff that's probably had the effect and impact on the whole of football.
Sokin.
They can never do it like I. When you see man pull up and slide, man stepped in a room with legends, Rio and Steve, you know it's a vibe. Check the podcast, what you wanna know? Don't ask me, go and ask Joe. If you're talking Premier League, he's on the front line and I gotta go. It's a vibe with five, and you already know what it is. It's a vibe with five, and you already know what it is. Vibe with five, and you already know what it is. It's a vibe with five, and you already know this.
Shout out to our sponsors Sokin, the global payment and money transfer experts, for supporting the show this season. What an end to the season it's been for Sokin's partners. Fulham winning the championships and they're back into the big time. Everton, they survived going down with a win against Crystal Palace. Big shout out to Frank Lampard, that was a great job. Arsenal, back in Europe. AS Monaco, they're also in the Champions League qualifiers, which is great. And to celebrate Sokin's first season as partners to these clubs, we've actually got some merchandise to give away to our listeners and viewers. The question is simple. We want to know, who do you think has the most valuable transfer this season? Who has it been? And who would you like to see as well? That's an additional question. We're giving away extra points and extra merchandise. So let us know. I want to know Rio and Steve's thoughts as well. Make sure you enjoy a Vibe with 5. Don't forget, for amazing rates on your currency exchange and to save money on your payments abroad this summer, download the free Sokin app.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are back for the final episode of Vibe with 5. You got it, myself, Joel Bayer.
Ever?
No, just for this season, bro.
Right,
Calm
okay.
down.
Panic
Joel
there.
Bayer, Stephen Howson, Rio Ferdinand. Hey, Rio, I have to say, I didn't like the attitude you came in with this morning, you know?
Why? What?
Asking
What's
people in the office, oh, what's going on with Arsenal? What's going on with Arsenal?
Mate,
I looked to you like, are you serious, bro?
We've got 3 Arsenal fans in the office, yeah?
It don't matter.
It's a joke.
It's like cricket.
And you lot, the liveliness with which you lot were coming in with on a regular basis. Oh, like,
Can I
what,
just
5, 6 weeks
should
ago?
I do a recap for the audience who aren't aware?
Cigars.
He brought cigars. He had cake.
Shades.
Sunglasses.
You guys are,
To finish what? A few points above
you guys are haters. Don't forget, bro.
You're in the
Like
same
yours.
European
Listen,
competition as
listen.
Man United,
Yeah,
mate.
right.
And we're a laughing
We're-
stock.
You're in the
at moment.
Thursday Sunday club like we are.
we still finished above you. Don't worry, man.
Yeah,
We'll
but-
learn the Europa League music together. All right? Next
No,
season.
you're not going to learn it. You know it.
Nah, all right. Good one. Okay, cool. So, final game of the season. Epic stuff. The way we're going to break this episode down. Title contenders,
Oh, not us then.
top 4,
Or us.
mid-table,
Not my bills.
and relegation.
Yeah.
You happy with that?
Yeah.
Let's start with Man City versus Aston Villa. 3-2. Pep Guardiola. This is their 4th title in 6 years. Absolute madness. Gundogan with the 2 goals.
Doing
Rodri
miracles
as
on a
well
shoestring.
scoring.
Absolute
Yeah,
miracles.
and obviously Matty Cash getting in the goal and Coutinho. Listen, I thought when they went 2-0 up, I thought, oh my days, this is it. I started bringing out the YNWA chants and that, you know what I mean? Because
Well, were you supporting them?
I don't know, man.
This is what I mean. Arsenal fans supporting other
I
clubs
don't
like,
know,
all the
man.
time.
I don't know what's going on.
I was trying to think of a pun between checkbook and cash. And
I don't
was
know.
struggling.
Do you know what though? I know
Did
you
you watch
say
it
that
then?
about spending money and everything, but you still got to be a good manager. You still got to be able to put
Yeah, like Pellegrini.
these players together and win. No. The way that this guy wins stuff is different. Trust me, it is. You can't deny that. There's even the fact the substitutions.
He loves Pep,
The
you know, this
substitutions
guy.
after during the game.
Are you friends with Pep?
I know him, innit?
Yeah?
No, we went for coffee the other day with a good chat.
See,
as
I was,
well,
gonna
but-
say, I
I
was
thought
debating
so.
whether to drop that, but you've
But
dropped
you know
it,
what?
so
Do you-
right.
do you- forget that.
I was going to roll in. Like,
Forget
what's
that.
happening, lads?
But you know what? It's more about you can't deny the guy's greatness.
Nah,
though.
he's
That's the
sick.
thing. And
He's
you know
a
what?
madman.
He had Jack Grealish on the bench, right? I think 99 out of 100 other managers put Jack Grealish on that pitch
Do you know- yeah, but
because
you're
of the
looking at the
pressure.
wrong angle.
Because of
Yeah,
the
but
pressure.
he's
He
got
could
the
put
quality,
£100
though.
million player on the bench.
he's got-
Yeah,
he's
but
got-
it doesn't
he's
matter.
got-
But
he's
I'm
got the
saying
quality.
he's still got to do it. But what I'm saying is that other managers would have been pressured into doing it. I thought, well, I have to, because it's going to look bad on me because I spent that money. It looks like, no. Whoever's right for the job on a day goes on, regardless of what price tag or who you are. And it proved right. And look, after the game, how happy Jack Grealish was because they won.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they all understand their role, and they understand this guy is the man to believe in.
Yeah.
He's a joke. Him and Klopp, obviously, they're standout managers of this generation at the moment. And what he does with the conviction that he does it, you can't sit there and throw jabs at him. I can't have it.
But I think, and I hear what you're saying. Don't get me wrong, I think Pep is absolutely sick. But I think there's a few managers that can afford that. I think Pep and Klopp, they can do that. Drop who they want, put in who they want. Tuchel, look, he's done the same all season with Lukaku. So let's calm down, mate. You know, he's not the only one.
What does he have in his coffee? What sort of coffee does he have?
Cappuccino.
So when Villa go 2-0 up, what are you guys thinking? Are you what's going on?
I was under the pillow, mate,
Really?
thinking, what's going on here? I was like, Wi-Fi went off. I just thought, no, because a lot of my mates are Liverpool fans, and I could, like, a few messages were coming in, and I was like, no. Can't have this.
What about yourself, Steve?
I was on a watch along, and I had Joe McGrath saying, I'm going to be sick. Jay went into a mood, just sat there like proper checked out. It was like, it's literally like watching a car crash happen, isn't it?
Do you know what's mad, yeah? You've now had to start wishing for City to win the
Do you know
league
what, though?
instead of
'Cause
Liverpool.
There's two sides to
that
this. It's
must
fantastic.
hurt.
City fans, they're just
Justify it, go on.
obsessed with United. That's all they're defined by. And the one team that they want to rub it in our faces, we wanted them to win.
Yeah.
You've just completely taken their legs out. That's why it's great for United fans this weekend.
We're
That's
doing
how
what
irrelevant they are.
we're doing what you've done for years, though, isn't it?
What?
You've supported other teams, like you supported Liverpool just there. Like,
I like
you
the
wanted
good
other
football.
teams to
They
win.
but there's no rivalry there. I just like good football. Do you know what I mean? It don't matter to me who wins. Could we talk about Gundogan, please?
They're letting him go, aren't they?
Yeah, but that's the madness. Like, I'm not sure if he's 100% going, but if you look at the depth, the quality of depth that they have, this year, he hasn't been at his greatest. You know, last year, I think from Christmas onwards, he really showed class. But look, he can still come.
He played off the front, didn't he, a little while in that period? He scored, I think, 11 goals in like 13 games or something like that.
Pick him up.
When De Bruyne was injured, he stepped up. So he's always been reliable in that sense. But he can play multiple positions.
I think he's unreal, man.
I think he's top player. He's been unfortunate with a lot of injuries, to be fair to him. But the greatness of a manager as well is to be able to keep people engaged when they're not necessarily in the team or playing much football. And I always say this, people can talk about, John O'Shea top player, was Darren Fletcher, who other players that have gone in the years have been Phil Neville, Quinton Fortune. Without these players, you don't win the league. Trust me, you don't win the league without these players. They might not be the superstar names. They might not do the step overs. Well, Phil Neville used to do a baggy one, but they might not be the ones that do the crazy skills and get the spotlight.
Let's have that right.
But get the spotlight. But they play such a pivotal role in you winning because they come up in moments of need when you need them. When there's either injuries or a lack of form, or like we saw yesterday, a need for a goal.
Bit of a skill to assembling a squad where you've got players that are content to be 20 games a season, because I don't think you'd have been, would you?
No, but that's why you've got to be. You don't just sign a player from a football perspective. You've got to sign the whole holistic. You've got to look at everything. That's where the due diligence is so important.
That's easier said than done, though, isn't it?
Yeah, imagine his bottom lip out if he's like, hey, guess what, your third choice. You'll play if he gets injured.
And don't forget who sets up one of Gundogan's goals? Sterling.
Sterling,
You know, amazing stuff. I mean,
but the substitutions this weekend, they've got to go down as possibly the best substitutions we've seen.
Yeah.
Like in a moment like that.
Yeah.
But City, I mean, there ain't much more you can say about just the intensity.
We got to get this quote up. Pep Guardiola said, "We are legends. When you win the Premier League 4 times in 5 seasons, it's because these guys are so special. We will be remembered. The first title we won with lots of margin, then at Brighton, then winning at home without fans, and now with people, it's the best. The magnitude of your achievement is divided by the magnitude of your rival. I've never seen a team like Liverpool. I know it's tough, but a huge congratulations to them. They helped us be a better team."
Have they won 3 in a row yet?
No.
Oh. I just wanted to. Didn't know.
But next season, that could be
this
it.
team is a great team.
In Julian's mind, they have.
Yeah. But they're a great team. But they've The way I have to agree with him in the fact that the opponent that they're playing against, they both have set a bar now that's never been seen before in terms of the consistency and the points amassed over the last couple of seasons. So in that sense, I understand it.
The points thing's a moot point. The Chelsea team that last won the title got 94 points. They're not a vintage Chelsea team. There's just a bigger margin between the top and the bottom of the league now.
Yeah, I can agree with that with Steve.
I
What
think that's
Steve
fair.
just said.
The next United
United
team that wins a title in the next 10 years or something is going to get 95, 96 points. It just will.
Now, looking at, for example, Kevin De Bruyne, he got the EA Sports Player of the Season award, which I don't really think is fair, if I'm honest with you. I think there's been better players out there. I think Mo Salah could have easily.
Do you know what? If you get the most goals and the most assists in a season, you've got to be getting your hands on that trophy.
I don't understand that at all. Phil Foden got the Young Player of the Year, the Hublot Young Player of the Year.
At least he played this year when he got it.
Yeah, I mean, he's got 4 titles, isn't it, by the age of 21?
Yeah, it's
madness.
Nuts.
But when you're looking at it, Rio, Pep Guardiola, when will he be? This is a tricky one. When will he be considered greater than Sir Alex Ferguson, if he stayed in the Premier League?
I just think they're very different, and they're from different eras. It's like saying, is Sir Alex Ferguson better than Bill Shankly or them guys? You can start going through names like that.
I understand.
It's very difficult to compare. I just think we have to say, listen, Pep in this era has been the best. I think him. Ancelotti has to be in with a shout in terms of what he's done. It's just that Ancelotti has had periods where he's gone to clubs where it's not really been the top clubs, but in terms of winning. But Pep Guardiola, from the difference with Pep Guardiola for me to everybody else is that we have a generation of coaches now from the top of the pyramid right down to Sunday League football all over the world that are trying to play a particular way that he set out. Like, I don't know anyone other than Johan Cruyff that's probably had the effect and impact on the whole of football.
Awesome.
So no, Wenger, not on the same page.
Why did he cling on to this?
I don't know.
What did he?
The
He stopped
professor of
English
football.
players having fry-ups. That's
Yeah,
it.
what do you mean? That's
Move
it.
on.
That
No.
was culture. What are you talking about? The
But
mindset.
I'm talking football. The way that he has people now believing they can play with players that are substandard, not on the same page in terms of intelligence, but he's made people believe there's a new way to play.
Him doing it in England really did transform it, and you see it. You see League One teams doing it, League Two teams doing it. You see it all the way down the non-league pyramid. Sunday League and grassroots has kind of been doing it for a little while because it's in the FA coaching courses. Playing out from the back has been something that's
Mate,
been
not
happening.
Not the same way,
this
though.
way.
This is
Please don't
completely
say that.
different.
But him
the same.
proving it at the top of the
And it's
Premier
funny because you've got players that can't
League
even
has
do
seen
it
adopted.
on the
So you've got
Sunday.
centre backs in Sunday League football that are standing when it's a restart from the goalkeeper standing near the corner flag to receive the ball, like they're
this
like
is
they're
true.
PK or something like that.
It's
I don't
hilarious.
understand. It's never been
It's a
seen
corner
before.
flag.
You got Premier League players that can't do it at all.
Oh,
Yeah,
man,
exactly.
It's true. Anyway, Liverpool beating Wolves 3-1. For a long time, it was 1-1. And I was at the Arsenal game, but I'll be honest with you, after seeing, Norwich, they folded early, right? I was just paying attention to the Liverpool game because I really wanted them to do
When
it.
they went 1-0 down, man, I was like, whoa,
Yeah, I
what's
know.
going on? But you always bank Liverpool.
I didn't have reception then, so I didn't.
Do you?
I only saw it when it was 1-1.
You always bank Liverpool going to win.
Do you know they were still
Yeah.
3-1 on to win when they were 1-0 down? Because we
what I
had a
mean.
look, so I was
Wow.
like, just put everything on that because they're going to win
what I
that
mean.
game.
Wow.
They're winning that game.
Yeah, so obviously you get Mane with the goal. It was tight. Salah comes on. We spoke off camera. Jake was saying that Salah didn't look at his best. Did you watch the game? What game did you watch?
I watched all three. I watched United, which wasn't worth a wank. I watched Liverpool, and I was watching. I think the City one was the one I was watching the most. That sort of held my attention.
Did
the
you
most.
get to see Salah? Anyone in the comments? What did you think? Does he look fit and ready for the Champions League? That's what I'm trying to get at here.
Let's reserve judgments till Saturday for them.
All right, cool. We'll see. Well,
Can we talk
obviously,
about
Andy
Steven Gerrard
Robertson-
bottling
Wait,
the title
no,
as a
no,
player
we'll
and a
get-
manager?
Okay, we'll get to that in a minute.
Whoa. Say it again.
You would?
Say it again. What did you say there?
Can we talk about Steven Gerrard bottling the title as a player and a manager?
I don't think he bottled it.
Really? 2-0 up?
He's playing against one of the best teams to play in the Premier League, man.
Did it happen? At least it wasn't him slipping over this time, but
But that's a madness, though, for them. For the,
He had
for
it was a big
Liverpool.
opportunity for Steven Gerrard to really get
really
Liverpool a
was.
title. Imagine he got it.
No, it was set up, man. You know what I mean? Like 3 goals they got in like 10 minutes. Like it's ridiculous. Even he'll be disappointed with
Can
that.
we talk about the pitch invasions as well? By the way,
Yeah, we have to. He weren't happy with that, was he?
his goalkeeper got
He got abused. You
hit.
could
I
say,
don't know what happened in terms
couple
of.
times.
It's out of order, man.
You know.
These situations are going to be a problem. You know, someone's going to get really hurt. I mean, people obviously been hurt to a certain extent already, but there's a chance that it's an opportunity for someone to try and get away with doing some real harm to somebody in these situations because there's so many bodies about. And I think the police, the clubs, the Premier League need to really find a solution now.
I don't know how you do it. It clearly can't go back to the sort of pens and cages that we had pre-Taylor report.
Do you think Vieira should be getting done by the FA?
Yes, but I don't disagree with what he did.
Yeah,
And
you know what?
only
That's a good response.
Only because I find it very similar to what Cantona did. Cantona was abused.
No, but
he
Cantona's
reacted.
one was like.
The Cantona's
The
left
guy
the
ran
pitch.
from the guy ran from the top of the stand to come and abuse him at the
Yeah,
front
I
of the
hear
stand.
that, but then he also chased the guy over the flipping. You know what I mean,
Well, you
advertising
fucking play
and
with
all that.
feathers,
That's
get your ass
crazy.
tickled, don't you?
But at the same time, I think fans need to be very careful, especially the guy that did it against.
No,
against
the one
Vieira.
against.
He's a fool because he's still recording, like slipping and sliding. Over
He's
the
got to be
gap,
embarrassed
giving
because
a POV
Vieira in a pair of shoes put him on his bum.
straight away.
Yeah, I don't
And,
disagree with what Vieira did.
I heard what Gary
but
Neville said.
you
How
also
did we
can't
get
hit
here?
people.
How did we get here? You know, and I if
The
you guys
geezer
are
that done
watching,
it to Billy Sharp, that was the liberty. So snide.
Oh my
That was a
god,
liberty.
yeah, that was unreal. Yeah, and that's just
If that's on the street, he's getting a little term. I'm sure.
I don't know why he's not now.
That's what I don't understand. Because it's on a football pitch, you get treated better.
it's stupid. It's ridiculous.
He wasn't playing.
But anyway, guys, so that's it. Man City are champions yet again, making it even
Vieira
harder.
just he put it on the floor. It was nice to see. Sorry, I didn't
Is
want
he
to
going back
interrupt.
to that,
Vieira just. It was nice to see that though. I'll be honest. As much as it's wrong on one hand,
I agree.
he's
So,
protecting himself.
There was a lad from hashtag tweeted something about it and was like, "Listen, I don't get paid enough to deal with that sort of shit. Try to boot you in the head." And,
No, I
and
agree.
there's players up and down the leagues that'll agree with that, especially
Yeah,
after seeing what happened with.
I think
Bill
Vieira's getting paid enough to do it, but
Shaw. Still getting a boot.
yeah, exactly.
I want to ask you, next season though, who do you reckon's winning it at this stage?
Not
Obviously, I know-
Arsenal. Should we
Winning the
start
league?
there?
No, yeah, well, out of
It
City and
depends. It
Liverpool.
depends on Man United's recruitment.
what?
Whee!
What?
Jokes.
Aye,
What's in
yeah.
that? Yeah. No. Listen, I said at the beginning of this season, if we could pull up our predictions, I said Chelsea would win it after winning the Champions League and what
Yeah.
Tuchel had done. But they went backwards. I'm going to go for, I think City will get the 3 in a row that they've been looking for.
Wow. Can you imagine?
Yeah, I can imagine because I think that's how it's going to go down.
I think that will happen.
I'm asking him specifically because he's always banging on about 3 in a row. So
I think they will. But I think Klopp, man, what Klopp's done has been like nothing short of remarkable to come in and change that club around. They're the way where they were is almost like what Man United are at now. Like, and
true.
so if Ten Hag comes in and can do what he does, we'll be looking at him as a messiah. So I think it's only right we do that with Klopp.
before we move on to the mid-table section,
Where Arsenal are sitting.
where Arsenal's sitting, Haaland coming in.
Oh,
Does it? It locks the league, doesn't it? Really, that could be the one.
It doesn't.
I think there's a tactical element to this that I can't wait to see unfold. How does Haaland fit into this team? Because normally their number 9 that they've got in the last season or two, he drops in. When Gundogan played up there, he drops into midfield, overload, creates the overload in midfield where they dominate teams all the time and just they bamboozle you with that extra player. Haaland ain't coming to feet like that. Haaland wants the ball in and around the box or behind the other team so he can run onto it. That's the bit I want to see how Pep does with that.
A couple of these bigger signings that he's had. Jack Grealish. Now, next season, he might
Grealish will be a banger next season.
He might look like
You heard it
a
here
City
first.
player next year.
He'll bang next season. Jack
But
Grealish will.
This season, he's looked disjointed. There's every chance that Haaland coming into
That
the
was a good
team.
interview, by the way. Grealish
Yeah.
one of the most honest interviews. Felt like a Bible 5. I can't lie.
I think he's
He was
I
honest.
think he's the most open player in terms of talking.
He was really
He's an open
honest about
book.
what Pep wanted from him, what he knows, didn't want to lose the
Confused.
ball, confused. And I think it was good because he had the chance to look at the pundits in their face that have been chatting rubbish about him. And what do you say in a position like that when someone's so honest? Rio, you're a pundit. What can you say?
Nothing. I just think it's refreshing to see the way that Jack Grealish speaks. It's been a hard season for him because don't forget he's gone from being the absolute poster
Main
boy
man.
at Villa, where he could do no wrong, to now being £100 million pressurised situation
Fringes
at a
player.
team where he's played a lot of games, you know. He's
Yeah,
not
well,
fringy.
that's 'cause they play
Recently, he's been out of the team, but most of the season he's been starting the games.
But when he was playing, it
But
wasn't
his
great
impact hasn't been what it was previously. So he's had to deal with that. And for a player like him who will have an ego, who will want to be the main man, who thrives under that type of pressure and spotlight, hasn't had it. So he's had to deal with it, all while understanding the nuances of him as a player, tactically, where he should be, being disciplined. He's a free role, free spirit. Aston Villa. He's had to be locked down in a certain position for the benefit of the team. You have to understand all these things. I spoke to him on the pitch before the Real Madrid game, actually, and he was saying a lot of the stuff that he said there in terms of there's so much more to think about going into a team that's prepared by Pep Guardiola to anything I've known.
Wow.
So you give him a year at that, now we've probably got a better understanding of it. That's why I think next season you'll see the Jack Grealish we know he can be. I think that we'll see that next year. And I agree with Steve. There could be a bedding in period where we don't see the Haaland that we expect to see immediately.
The one thing, though, yesterday's game, City reminded me a lot of United under Jose, where they were just trying to pump desperate balls into the box. When you've got a Haaland in the box, this becomes a much more attractive prospect than when you're trying to hit Sterling. And I think that could give them a bit more of a plan B. But I just think there's potential. I think they're probably still going to have enough in every single area for it not to make a massive impact. But there's potential if Grealish doesn't kick on and stays a bit like he is and a bit disjointed, then they lose the likes of Gundogan and Sterling and a couple of others. And it sounds like he's trying to bring in someone to replace or to challenge Rodri. I think that's a mad idea because Rodri's the best in that position in the world potentially. Haaland coming in could just, like we thought with Chelsea, oh my God, that's it, it's over, when they bring Lukaku in. And it didn't work. And they've crumbled a little bit because of him. And you've seen other players like Havertz step up. That was having a bit of a time. It could upset the apple cart just enough because we're talking the thinnest of margins between them and Liverpool. If Diaz kicks on, if they refresh a little bit of what they've got, because they don't need major surgery. They're adding like really nice sort of backup players that are coming in and doing bits. It's going to go down to the wire again with City and Liverpool, and it's going to be on the finest of margins again. I think Chelsea have got the talent in the squad, but the talk of Conte leaving, half that defence going, I think they're going to really struggle. And we don't know what the new owners are like. Are they going to be cashy? Are they going to try and do it like with their youth, which they could do because the youth's awesome, but we don't know what they're going to be like yet. So I don't think you can put anything on Chelsea except that they're probably going to be above us. And then it's going to be us, Tottenham and you lot fighting it out for that fourth spot.
I think go back to Haaland, sorry. I think what Pep's had with City at the moment when big players have come in, Mahrez, even when Sterling came there, all these players, Jack Grealish, Bernardo Silva, etc., they get a bedding in period. It's
Even
almost
Cancelo
like,
did, really.
Yeah, Cancelo. It's like an understanding that actually this is hard. It's not easy to come in and you don't hit the ground running all the time. But the biggest part of that is the humility of them players that struggle. They understand it's not going to be, and they don't moan and kick up a fuss.
That's down to Pep,
I might be pulled out of the team.
Yeah.
But also it's down to Pep managing that. But it's also that player having the humility and understanding this is where it's at. That's where Haaland has to play his part if it doesn't go right.
That's a big ego there.
Yeah, because you've got to just suppress any ego and go, okay, I get it. The bigger picture is not disturbing the morale, the ambience of the squad.
Is that potentially something then in the Pep doesn't play well with the big character type players? Maybe because they wouldn't buy into this? Or maybe he's just not interested in those sorts of players because he knows that there's going to be this work and bedding in period. Like, with what's just happened with Mbappe, can you imagine him coming to a Manchester City now and being like...
I just think it's players that don't have the ability to compromise. Like, Zlatan doesn't strike me as someone who's going to compromise much. Do you know what I mean? That's why it probably didn't work there. He'll have his own reasons, but
Ronaldinho at the time.
But he was maybe finishing. He's out too much and stuff like that. Probably
Riquelme was the same
that,
sort of vibe on it.
But then you got Thierry Henry who goes to Barcelona. He talks glowingly about him, but having to understand the Pep way. Mm-hmm. So that takes like that ego has to be put aside.
That was Thierry Henry at the time.
Thierry Henry's like the boss.
He didn't light it up.
Yeah, and he's like, but his goal record that year was sick,
it wasn't
crazy.
that bad, you know?
But
like 17 goals or something.
But what I mean is like his story about it is he pulled me off the pitch and told me sit down and look what I want. Discipline, stay in that position. You might not get the ball for 30 minutes. but the team will benefit, and then you'll get your goals at the end of it. But having to put my ego down and go, actually, it's not about me now. It ain't just about me. It's about the team, and then I get the fruits after that. So it's very, you get the right player, you get the right mindset, then you crack it.
Speaking about Mr. Arsenal, going on to Arsenal, top 4. It was so close, man.
What happened, man? Give us the Arsenal perspective, please. Let's flip it. Let me ask you.
Press play on the clown music.
Yeah, can you just give me what went wrong? Why?
I'll tell
and
you.
where do you go from here?
I'll tell you, Rick. I ain't got no problem with that.
Wait, before you start,
go on, Steve.
Can I frame it by the fact you're playing once a week? Right, go.
Wow.
That's a good one. Good start. Anyway, I've been arguing with your brother, and he's been saying to me, Anton, he's been saying we shouldn't have got rid of Aubameyang. For me, I reckon that was the best thing to do, because from there we kicked on, and boy, oh boy, we did a good job, man. We went on a serious run. We did an absolutely amazing job.
Sorry, where can I look in so the camera sees my eye line?
Yeah, bearing in mind, we got a young squad, man. Saka, Emile Smith Rowe, Odegaard, who hasn't played a lot of football in the last few years.
You got that app to do the tiers and that?
Yeah, you can do it.
Someone do it for me while he's talking.
Ben White, first season. Gabriel still, getting to
Ben White, he says.
Tommy Yatsu, what's wrong with that?
Nothing.
Okay. Tommy Yatsu injured. Not easy. Kieran Tierney, Lokonga, first season. Partey injured. We actually have done a really Eddie Nketiah, first full season at Arsenal, playing properly in the first team, that is.
How many goals did he finish on?
Hold on, we'll talk about that soon. We did a great job, and I think if you look at Mikel Arteta,
good job.
Good job. If you told us at the start of the season after that Brentford game that we would finish 5th, bro, we would have bit your hand off for that, man. We really would. We've beaten Man United, we've beaten Chelsea, slapped up Tottenham the first time, but unfortunately, the last couple of weeks.
The business end.
Is that what you call it? What? When you guys are getting slapped about by everyone like Brighton and Crystal Palace?
This isn't like a back and forth.
I'm just saying. When you got slapped around by Arsenal and all that.
You're on the defensive,
the business end, yeah?
You're on the defensive.
Cool. When you guys could have got top 4 and you bottled it as well, yeah? Yeah. Anyway, so losing to Spurs for me I knew it. If we lost to Spurs, that would be really difficult for us, because it's not just about losing, it's the way we lost, man. You can't get pumped 3-0 and then think you're going to go to St. James's Park on a Monday night with Eddie Howe.
Got pumped there as well.
Are you mad? I already said it. I said it on Vibe with 5. I said, look, we're not going to get the result that we want. I don't think we've got it in us. We ain't got the minerals.
You were saying a young team.
No, I did. No, I said it last week.
Was that when you had your Arsenal shirt on?
Please.
Last week's different. I'm talking 5-6 weeks ago when you was walking in with your chest out.
Oh, what? When he said that? When he said
shades,
when he said that Man United will finish above Arsenal. Then, all right,
I don't get involved in your
don't forget the forfeit,
debates.
mate. All right, cool.
What's the forfeit?
Basically, what is the forfeit, Steve?
I don't know, because the forfeit was about the forfeit was about who came fourth.
No. Don't lie. Don't do this to yourself, Steve.
Guys, Tom, can you get edit so we can find out what the forfeit was,
Everyone knows
please?
They've been watching all season. Anyway, end of the day.
Get in the comments and tell us what the forfeit was, guys.
End of the day, we pumped Everton 5-1.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, because that's an achievement.
Wait. We pumped Everton 5-1. And, unfortunately, it wasn't enough because, Norwich got pumped as well by Spurs. So we missed out by 2 points.
Tell me why, I've asked you. Why?
What do you mean, why?
Why do you think you missed out?
Because we didn't make it 4th. That's why.
Why? I know you didn't make it 4th, but what's your reasons as an Arsenal fan?
Young team. I feel like we need to refresh in certain areas. Up top, we need probably 2 strikers. Not even sure if Eddie Nketiah is staying. Call me. If you're looking at left back, no real replacement for Tierney, Tavares. Let's just, Ben White, Gabriel. If one of them goes, we've got Holding. Great hairline job at Turkey and that, but I think we need a little bit more, if you know what I'm saying. And I think, in the middle of the park, I think we're a little bit frail as well.
I think he's overachieved because that is a gash team.
Well, say what you want. So I reckon next season, the problem with us is who's now going to want to come to Arsenal when you know, I wouldn't laugh if I was you, when you know that Champions League might not be a possibility, because this could have set us back for 2 years.
Might not be a possibility. When was the last time he was in it?
Can you calm down? This has set us back for 2 years, Rio.
2 years?
Was it
I
even
reckon
in
2-3 years,
was
maybe.
it even HD when you was last time?
I think Arsenal have got to do well in the next window. But I think he's put down some decent foundations.
What my arguments? Yeah, they were good, innit?
No, I'm talking about your manager. I think he's put some decent foundations in. What he has got is a nucleus of young players
That's what I said.
that understand what it means to play for Arsenal
Important.
and who have talent. Some very good players that need just building around with better players.
I've got a question though, Rio, yeah? If you're a young, talented player, which you were at one point, how long, if you're Saka, how long do you accept coming out to that Europa League music when you've got Champions League aspirations?
I think when you're a young player, it's all about what the attachment's like to the club for yourself. Each individual will be very different. I think you need to have, as long as the club's kind of aspirations match yours, and that comes with what type of players are we recruiting? Are we recruiting to finish in the Europa League, or are we recruiting to finish in the Champions League, and so on? And if they match yours, then I think you stay for a good period. I was at West Ham, and I was going into the chairman every single summer. Who are we buying? Got a great young squad here. We've got young players coming through underneath me. We've got me, Frank Lampard, Joe Cole, Michael Carrick, Glenn Johnson, Defoe, etc. My brother. They're all coming. Just buy some players, please. No, we're not. That's not what we're going to do. We're going to just continue what we're doing, whatever. A couple might need to bits, and then so
That's frustrating.
when you're a young kid and an offer comes in for you, it's an easier decision to make. But if the club are matching your ambition and want to go on and want to do things, then I don't see none of them boys going.
Did you look at the Leeds team already? And before you got there, they had some decent names, man. Ian Hart, Mark
When was that semi-final year? Was you part of that?
Yeah,
Boya. Talent was mad.
proper
Harry
team.
Kewell,
Viduka, bare teams. Yeah.
proper players. Was you looking at that like, wow, this is the next level?
I just looked at it and thought, well, I'm at West Ham. We played in like a European competition. I don't know what it was.
Was it in a Toto?
In the Total Cup, we actually won that, So I don't see it on my Wikipedia.
there's
Though.
like-
It should be on there.
Yeah.
I don't know if you win it.
Yeah, we beat Mets. Louis Saha was playing. He was devastated about it. He told me when he signed for United.
Yeah.
But I was looking at it just thinking, Leeds are pushing right into the Champions League, competing in the Champions League. That's an absolute separation from what I'm doing at West Ham. Got to go. After West Ham accepted the bid, got to go and I got to experience that. So I was quite comfortable when I left West Ham at that time.
I'm asking you now. The momentum has shifted a tad with Spurs now, innit? Because I mean, it's not just the thrashing Norwich 5-0. It's what it means to them in the future, innit? Son, like I told you, world class. Sharing golden boot.
I
with
didn't
Salah.
say he's not world class. Never not said he's world class.
Calm down, mate.
Oh, okay.
Alright, cool.
A little bit defensive that then, wasn't
Yeah, it was, innit? Really? But yeah, like honestly, 23 goals in 35 games. Their front three is just looking
Pretty sure it was me
dangerous at
arguing
the
and putting him in
moment.
our team of the year.
And
I think you'll find.
yeah, it's true.
It's good, well played.
And Conte, you know.
Let's go back to Conte. Are you still someone who would have said definitely not have Conte?
100%.
That's a good one, Rio.
No.
That's
Here's the
a
thing, right?
good one.
We could have hired Conte and we could have finished top four, right? Probably, but I mean, it's debatable because the way that these players found it in at United, it might not have finished in top four. Towards the back end of the season, Ralph had like 11 players available. Like, people had fully tossed it off.
I think Ralph is pants, mate. And
Okay.
and honestly, as much as, the United players didn't cover themselves in any glory, but I think he had enough time as well
Do you know what
to
his
get
problem
your
was?
team in top four.
Maybe, but he was pure supply teacher mode. You've all been there when a supply teacher comes in and you go, I ain't doing shit. Like this, it's just, and that was literally how we played the last 6 months.
I think the end for United, we've moved on from Conte straight away. But I think the end thing for United is it's reflected worse, I think, on the players.
This ain't the mid
By the way,
season part of the
on
combo, yeah.
On
Mid-table.
Conte could have come in and he might have done something and got us top four,
Mm-hmm.
right? But are we in a better position next year? Debatable. Are we in a better position in
Well,
18
you say
months?
that about Spurs. I think Spurs, they're looking like
But if they don't match his ambitions in the summer, his shit's packed and he's gone. That's what he does.
But this is the thing I think with Man United, they would have matched his ambition every year, like they've matched the ambition of the previous managers
That's
in terms
true.
of finances.
They all had one summer though where they was like, you can have a Fred and a Delo and maybe a Lee Grant.
Yeah, but hold on, a Fred and a Delo comes to about 80 mil.
It does, but we didn't. The problem was we didn't get a single first team player in that.
No, but that's not. Fred and Delo.
First 11 player.
Fred played every game. He was a starter.
Yeah, but he shouldn't have done.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. They still got a 50-something million pound player that Man City were interested in, by the way. So you're talking like we bought the dregs. We bought a player who was playing Champions League football in another country. Man City were in for him, 100%. Man United stumped up the money and get him. That's being backed.
All right. Either way, the Conte thing, when it does eventually blow up in 18 months, you might think to get backed. I could disagree. We needed a cultural reset of the club. Look at the amount of backroom staff that have all packed their shit and left. We needed that. And I think the amount of people that have come into the back room at the moment, I think is a positive thing. That Ed Woodward era needed to go. Mr. Arnold's in there now. Hopefully he'll
But you're talking like if they brought in Conte, they wouldn't have been able to do that. These people, Ten Hag has had no influence in terms of reshuffling that back room.
Okay, but I still don't see Conte bringing in a whole new sports science department, and like I know Ten Hag's a big nerd on that side of things, and I think that will come in.
But
yeah,
I spoke
agree
to Lukaku last season when he just left Inter Milan. He said, "I've never ever been as fit in my life. The nutrition, the understanding of my body because of Conte and his team has never been anywhere near like this."
Okay, maybe I'm wrong on that then.
I was going to say, Man United.
I don't get the impression that Conte would have been revolutionary in that sense, and I think it needed.
Do you need to be revolutionary though, or you just need to have a shift, a change?
I think United needed the revolution, yeah.
So, yeah, some of the players definitely need to put in a shift. In regards to, you did a video earlier, Steve McClaren.
I have done videos, yeah.
Yeah, Steve McClaren officially joining the team.
Welcome back, Steve. Welcome back, Steve.
Yeah. Who else is joining the team? Because I heard
Mitchell van Gaag's. No. That was
rumours?
Totally misquoted in the paper.
Okay.
Mitchell van Gaag's joining him as well. From what I've heard, he's going to be the actual assistant manager, the guy putting cones on and taking training sessions. And I think Steve McClaren's there as a little bit of a in-house mentor, someone who knows him, someone that he trusts. I think it's more than advisor. I think it's eyes and
ears.
Yeah, and I think it's a lot more than that. And I think because of the size of United, I think you probably do need a little bit more of that. And he does know England. He does know the club.
Would you say? Sorry.
Yeah, I think he understands the makeup of a Man United when they were successful. What the demands are.
But that was a long time ago, bro.
No. But it's still understanding what the demands are in that job. It's like David Moyes comes to Manchester. I keep going back to him, but he's a good example. He comes to Man United and no one on his team, from a coaching standpoint, understand what it's like to be at a club of a magnitude of Man United. And then you have to react once you're in there. It's very difficult.
What was the bloke called with white hair?
Yeah, I forgot his name.
Jimmy?
I can only think
Jimmy? Was it Jimmy Lund? I can only think Luke Carpenter.
Oh, you're out of order. He was a lovely geezer, to be fair.
But that's the only name I can think.
But what I mean is...
What did he do? What was his role?
Yeah, he was a bit like that. He was a bit like David Moyes. He never trained us. It was a bit like David Moyes' eyes and ears. But when you haven't got an understanding of what it means to be at Man United, not just that, but just being at a big club, at a club of that size, and I think he's a good addition, I think, Steve McClaren, because he knows the steps. He knows what a culture looks like, a winning culture looks like. So he can bring that and point him in the right direction. I think he'll be someone there as a sounding board.
Sorry, carry on what you were saying about the coaching stuff before I interrupted.
Well, yeah, Mitchell van der Gaag, I think he's the guy doing the out on the pitch stuff. I think Steve McClaren, I don't think advisor, and I think that paints a different picture to what I think he's going to be doing.
Got you.
I think, like Rio says, probably a little bit more eyes and ears, but you mentioned he was also like really at the forefront of like psychology and that sort of stuff. And I think that's something that the club definitely needs to get a grip of. I think United's team next year, I think we'll probably buy 5 players, somewhere in that sort of range. We're going to see maybe double figures leave. So I can imagine that the core of a lot of United squad next season might look a little bit like what yours did this year, where there's loads of players who ultimately might not be good enough for the first team, but they're going to get a chance just to fill the ranks. The likes of Garner, the likes of Levitt, Hannibals, people that have been out on loan, maybe your lads and stuff like that. Savage, of course. I mean, he got on the bench yesterday. You might see Brandon Williams held in and around the squad rather than go back out on loan or sold, just for the fact that they're cheap, which is not the reason to keep a player around. But when you're seeing a complete overhaul of a squad, cheap matters, because you ain't going to be able to spend 80 million in every position. You might be able to spend 60, 70, 80 million pound on one, maybe 2 players, but you're going to have to get a free transfer. This guy's going to have to be, like someone like a Kante. someone at the end of their contract, something like that, maybe a Tielemans that, you know, he's only got a year left. Can we get them in nice and cheap? These are the sort of astute kind of buys to go with some of the youngsters, to go with maybe your superstar. And we're going to get some wrong. Even if you get 6 players, 3 are probably going to be dud. Like, you're probably going to have to take twice as long as we think it's going to for this to totally change around. And, you know, I know Rio was joking earlier when he said depends on what United recruit. We ain't winning the league next year unless there's a monumental, unforeseen collapse.
That's some Leicester business, boy. If you
ahead
win the
of
league
us
next year, for real.
And you can't do it playing your own.
I like his comments though. He's done his press conference, obviously.
Oh yeah.
And one of the good quotes that come out of it.
Because we're now officially in the mid-table section. Chelsea secured 3rd place with Ross Barkley.
No one cares. They were running against themselves.
Against Watford, who are already relegated. We're officially into the mid-table section. Go on, Rio.
Okay. No, just these comments he said about, thanks for letting me know where we are, but good isn't good enough. That's the type of language that I like to hear. You know what I mean? He's got to get that on a training pitch and implement stuff.
See the face on him during the game yesterday?
Yeah, serious.
It's how we all felt, just like these dickheads.
And he wants to be a dominating and dictating team. And I mean, that's what he had at Ajax. It's a very different makeup that he's coming into right now. So he's got a lot to do, a lot of work to do, man.
Did you watch the Crystal Palace game yesterday versus United?
Yeah, shit.
Mate, just to add, only 2 teams didn't score yesterday. Can anyone guess who those 2 teams were?
Yeah, wasn't the worst team in the league.
Man United and who did? Norwich.
Yeah, that's right. Go on, carry on.
I don't know. Can we move on from Man United?
No.
I need it to improve, man.
No.
Signings or something like that.
Have you see...
We had less shots than Everton had against them lot.
Because you see, because of your position and what you've done for the club, obviously not just you, there's loads of players. Are you almost a sounding board when people come in the club, i.e. either come in the club or to people who are still at the club?
If people want to talk to you, then yeah, your phone's always on. I'm not the type, I want to have to be involved. Or listen, I love Man United, and if I can be a help to anybody and they want to ask me a question, I'm there.
Did you see Ralph Rangnick's post-match interview when he spoke about, he's great at speaking, by the way, breaking down how you conceded, obviously Zaha's goal, running in and out, weaving out, saying that you're too far. Did you? It sounds like, of course, common sense. Why is it that this is not being implemented into the players? Because he clearly knows how to communicate. You know, I think he's one of the best communicators that I've seen, especially in a post-match interview. He'll tell you what it is.
Why? These players are dicks, mate.
Yeah, but
also it's different to communicate to a camera,
yeah,
or to an individual who's got a mic in your face than it is to a group, a 22-man squad of egos, different characters, different personalities.
Get closer, get tighter.
Yeah, but it's different. It's a different way of projecting your voice and being able to engage with people and get them engaged. It's very different. It's a different skill set. So you may be good at one element, but you might not be good at another. But also, it might be the players as well. They have to be accountable in this situation, and they haven't been able to kind of get any ask that he's kind of asking onto the pitch. We saw him as being, when he first came in, he's a pressing coach. They haven't pressed since they last played Palace in the league. Because what? You can't coach them, or because they can't press, or they won't press. Don't know. We'll see though, because this next manager, he likes to press as well, to a certain degree. We'll see the difference.
Well, I think you've got to see the departures. And I think the departures can have a massive impact. I think you're going to need more than 2 players to change the culture of the club. But look at what Eddie Howe's managed to do with a couple of signings.
Who do you buy if you're there now? Who would you take? Mr. Man United.
I think it's less about who and more about what. Like, I could see McClaren's doing bits for United. Probably available at an acceptable price, I would think. Not a crazy price. Someone that's not hit his peak just yet. And I think that's where United always got our best players. Someone that was on their way to the peak. That's when you get them. And we get them on the rise to the peak, at their peak, and a couple of years post-peak, and then...
He's someone like McClaren is probably someone like, you could put him like a Chris Smalling type signing, where they come in and they have impact. They might not be straight starters immediately, but they go and they stay there for 10 years, but have a really good career, and they impact the club at different levels.
I think he's better than any of our right backs at the club. So he plays. So I think he would play. But it's players like that you need to get that. You know, you're not getting them from Barcelona and Real Madrid, where this is either a sideways or a downward move for them. You're getting them. I think it was a George Graham quote. Fergie mentions it in his book. Players have to see United as a step up, and they have to see it as a challenge. If they don't see it as a challenge mentally, they're not going to be putting it in training enough. And I think someone like Max, I think he would relish the opportunity to be part of this.
100%. Who else?
A DM. I've just seen Kamara go to Aston Villa. Apparently, we couldn't have been in for him, but available on a free. Makes no sense why we wouldn't have been in for a player like that. A real good defensive midfielder, Tchouaméni, supposedly is going Liverpool or Real Madrid. Someone like that would have been good. I like the idea of someone like a Tielemans. I think he's a gettable one, sensible kind of price. If Kante's leaving Chelsea, I'll pick him up tonight. Like, not going to be there a long time, but this is where you have to cut your cloth accordingly. Is he going to be a good price? Yes. Do we know what he's like as a player? Yes, we do. Do we know that he can work in the Premier League? Yes, we do. Do we know what he's like in terms of work ethic and culture? Not a leader in terms of being vocal by what I can see, but have you ever heard of him doing anything wrong? He's an example leader, if anything. And I think you need to bring in a striker. I think there's something in the Darwin Núñez one. I'm not sure on him. But I think you do need to bring in a striker. And I wouldn't mind, even if it was for 12 months. Not sure Tammy Abraham would have it, but someone that's going to give Ronaldo them Thursday nights off. Let him just play in the league and watch what happens. He doesn't need to wear the Europa League music.
Could Rashford be that guy to do that?
Rashford needs summer this summer. And I think the first 6 weeks of next season are going to be massive. If he starts like we know he can, he'll win the crowd back. If the next 6 weeks look like the last 6 weeks or the last 6 times he's played for us, there's a lot of people going to close their minds on Marcus Rashford as a United player. There's a lot of people already fed up, but I think a player that plays with a broken back gets another goal for me. And I think he could do it. I think Sancho will be better again next season after a pre-season here. I think Bruno just needs to calm down. He's a bit emotional, but I think he's a real good player there. But United, I can argue we need a right back, a striker, probably 2 midfielders. I think we need a centre half. Who is that? Timber seems like a decent option. I'd love to know your thoughts on 5'10" centre half. Is it good enough to have someone like Varane alongside him when he's going to be the cover? If he's just looking for the runs in behind all the time, which we know he can do and he's rapid, does that work?
I think the way Ten Hag's playing, looking at it, is like, we're going to be the aggressor. We're going to be the team that dictates and dominates the games, to quote him. So he's looking to play on the halfway line. He's not looking to play on a deep block. So he's not thinking about... And one thing he'll have to think about is the physical element in the Premier League is very different to what he's seen in Holland. So defending crosses, you could be 5'10". We all see Patrice Evra was 5 foot, probably 3, but he was one of the best headers of the ball when we were doing defensive set pieces. So, and he was a threat in the opposing box as well. So it can be done, but whether he's that guy, time will tell.
All right, so you guys avoided the lower echelons of Europe beneath Europa because Brighton beat West Ham 3-1. Obviously, goals by Veltman, Gross, and Danny Welbeck.
What year is it?
Listen, this guy's still going on, If he was a few years younger, he could be looking at the England squad for real.
He got a few goals.
Yeah. And Antonio obviously scoring for West Ham. It just kind of... I don't want to spend too much time on this, but it just kind of went down for West Ham recently. I think they was focusing so much on Europa that they let the league slip.
Yeah, they got too many games. Many games.
You'd notice if you played twice a week.
Yeah, on their squad couldn't deal with it. Antonio lost a bit of form as well, and he was their main goal getter before.
I'm joking, but I'm not joking at the same time.
I know what you mean. No, I know what you mean. It's a fin.
You're in the shit next year.
But it's been a great season for West Ham, though. Moyes has created something there now, a great atmosphere at the stadium.
Does he just suit being an underdog manager?
I think so, yeah.
But did you hear what he said, though? He was really good. We'll get the quote up. He said, they know I'm not happy. I don't care if it's the first or last game. They have to perform in all the games. I'm not happy with the performance today. If we play like that, then we'll be challenging at a different part of the table.
Oh, Rio's going to take the chips off him.
Yeah, I like that. That's what you want to hear. Let's go to the relegation zone.
All right, cool. So you've got here relegation section: Brentford versus Leeds. Leeds staying up. Did you see the performance at the celebrations?
Yeah, it was crazy. Rafinha. Do you know what? This is what makes the Premier League the best league in the world. I don't care. at times I've said it before, and you'd say, okay, technically we're probably not, because you had Barcelona and Real Madrid flying. But in terms of entertainment,
It's the best.
the
Man.
Premier League is unrivaled at all parts of the league. There's people fighting for different things. It's not just a runaway at the top of the league anymore.
True.
It's not
Even the mid-table
the mid-tables are jostling for positions, and then you got the relegation battle goes down to the wire on the last day. And I thought Leeds, because of the form, I didn't see them beating Brentford away. I thought they were going down, but they've done remarkably well to come up. And Harrison, by the way, who's been a good player for them in the Premier League the last 2 years.
Yeah.
He comes up with the goods late on in that game. And again, last minute goal. You know what I mean? It's brilliant. The advert for the Premier League couldn't have had a better advert than this weekend.
Yeah. And obviously Burnley going down because they lost to Newcastle. I mean, man.
There's a lot of football purists that are saying good riddance.
Why?
Because a few of my mates who are saying, "Oh, the way they play football, they don't deserve." But I like
the conundrum.
I like the difference. Do you know what I mean? You don't want every team trying to play football. I like we've got to go to Burnley this week because they're going to lump it, maybe. Or
it was that old Monday night in Stoke. Can you do it on a Monday night in Stoke? Well, can you do it on a Monday night or Saturday afternoon in Burnley? Being able to hit all of those different flavours was what made the Premier League good.
Yeah.
You don't want everyone to just be a carbon copy playing the same style of football, do you?
That's true. And you know what you said, Rio? You said to me earlier on in the season, you go, you see Newcastle, everyone needs to watch out for them. Obviously, that's everyone's saying that, but you were like, that's the place to be in the future. You've got players that were okay before. You know, you got Callum Wilson fighting because he knows there's going to be players coming in.
Can I just ask the FA to go and piss test Joel Linton because what's he playing like lately?
Change. But I think Eddie Howe deserves the credit. He deserves.
He's gone from Danny Welbeck up front to Yaya Toure in midfield.
No, but he deserves. No, you're right. Danny Welbeck. Don't disrespect Danny Welbeck. Jesus.
I wouldn't have taken.
All right, Benteke up front then.
Yeah.
Before.
Say again.
I wouldn't have taken Eddie Howe before, but what he's done at Newcastle.
Mate, what he did at Bournemouth was ridiculous.
Yeah, but near the end of it, I just thought,
I think he was the
budget
perfect
got relegated.
guy in terms of he's no trouble, he's no airs and graces, he's very calm and very measured in his approach, and they needed that because I think you can get carried away when you've got all this money flying in the club and all the hysteria that flows about at that time. People can come in and get carried away with it.
He was
very
hoping that's
calm.
what happened.
Yeah, he was very calm. This could have blown up in their faces, the investors, but. He's now stabilised them, and again, I think they'll go on again.
I think he'll get moved on eventually, but I reckon he hasn't done himself any harm.
Oh, yeah, that's
honestly,
he'll get moved on, and he'll have a lot of clubs waiting.
Who's the next
100%.
manager then? Who do they bring in? I can see him going for an Ancelotti or something. Maybe.
No, I think they
Throwing
go.
everything
I reckon they
Jose.
go and get Emery.
Yeah, he was a good manager. Money, what happened to him?
Yeah, Arsenal ruined him.
Anyway, guys,
They tried to.
Listen, before we wrap it up, Mbappe is staying at PSG. I can't believe it.
I don't think staying's not the word. I think owning.
Yeah.
Is
Can
what it sounds like.
Mbappe win a Ballon d'Or at PSG?
Only if France win the World Cup.
He scores like
Actually-
9 goals in the World Cup or something.
Yeah,
You don't win it this year.
Actually, yeah, it's mad. I can't even say that because it's all messed up now, isn't it?
Don't win it this year. But I mean, he's got a lot of time anyway. He's young. He's only
Would you
23,
have done it?
What?
Stayed.
When was the
I
last
need to
time
see what
someone
the- I need
outside
to-
of one of the big leagues won the Ballon d'Or?
I need to see what the contract looks like first. Listen, you have to understand as well. If he's getting paid the numbers that they're talking about, bruv, you got to be bathing. You got to be like
That contract's not
mad
like a bowl of
rich.
Cheerios that many
Yeah,
zeros
but
on it.
no, you got to be mad rich not to take it.
But don't you think that if he had gone to Real Madrid and done what I think they would have done there anyway,
Yeah, he weren't on minimum wage at Real Madrid.
in
No,
the long term, don't you think that legacy is first and cash follows?
I thought like that.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of players who did think like that, but then there's also as many players that don't think like that. But I don't think he's not thinking legacy. I think Mbappe is confident in his ability.
For 3 years.
And I think he's
there
thinking,
at
I'm going to stay for
26.
3 years. Within them 3 years, I'm to win the Champions League and Ballon d'Or, and then I'm going to get off. But I just think that some people are saying, I think he should have gone or whatever. But you can't judge the next man because it's his own decision. By the way, as well.
What did Anelka say?
But Paris is his city as well. It's hard to drag. It's like saying get someone to come out from their home city where he's comfortable, got his family, got his friends. He's loving what he's doing. He's enjoying his football. He's winning the league every year. And some might say it's the Farmers League. To him, this is my favourite league. So that's how you got to look at it. And Anelka said something quite poignant the other day. I saw it. It was about if Mbappe is to be considered the best player in the world, he needs to leave Paris.
Do you think that's true, Steve?
Yeah, I think he's a good player. I think he's
No,
a very,
not
very good
Come
player.
on, man.
I think he's a very, very good player.
Don't
but
say that. He's
for
a top player,
the
man.
contract demands and the money that's been slung around at him, I don't think he's that
Yeah,
good.
but Steve, you're not understanding. You're looking at it pure football. There's a commercial element to
Yeah.
it. This guy meets with Michael Jordan, mate.
Yeah, right, but
And
let's
If
not
he
be
leaves,
material.
if he leaves
PSG
Paris,
don't need money.
if he
not saying
leaves
'cause he's linked to Michael
the
Jordan,
Premier
man,
League, if he leaves the Premier League, I mean, if he leaves the French league, I reckon
Do you remember Liverpool thought it would get him like
there's a
shit?
massive amount of sponsors that drop out and say no, and the viewing figures drop through the floor.
Facts.
That's why it's almost
Facts.
like Macron, the president, is talking to him and asking him and thanking him. Cheers. And
Wow.
It's a big
Didn't even see that.
economic, like.
Oh, can I
it's
say?
not-
I loved La Liga, by the way.
Oh,
Being
yeah,
like,
yeah.
What's going on? Like,
They bought Galacticos for like the last decade.
I'm just glad someone's sticking up for the little man in Real Madrid because honestly, they've been pushed around by the big boys of Europe.
Does this
forever.
mean that you're supporting Liverpool then in the Champions League final?
Should be Dick.
Guys, thank you very much for joining us.
Underdog story, innit?
Actually, before we
13
go, I
time
think
winners or whatever they are.
we should confirm the winners of the leagues, you know. So we've had the Premier League won by Man City, Bundesliga, Bayern Munich, League PSG, La Liga, Real Madrid, Serie A, AC Milan.
Yeah, great.
Job Maldini went in there, halved their wage bill, and got them to win the league.
Tamori out there
Dead league though.
winning Scudettos and not getting called up for the England squad.
Yeah.
Gareth, you got to make it make sense, mate.
Yeah, he only picks players on form.
Yeah. And then obviously FA Trophy winners.
Bromley, that's
Man,
my
like,
local team. Bromley.
you know?
My
Beating
boys went to
Wrexham.
that game. They loved it. So it's
Really?
sick, yeah, loved it.
Yeah, so that was a good one. 1-0 win.
That's the season done, must say been a greasy one. Final day where it all went down and for some were the easy one. The Reds needed City to lose, and imagine they were 2-0 down. It was all in doubt, who's hosting the crown? They flipped it, turned it around. Man City, reigning champs, got a gun, come through with a winner like Aguero. Liverpool gotta hold that second, keep it stepping and go next year, yo. Arsenal won, but they're still 5th place, could've locked up 4th in a derby. Now they're sitting with United in Europa spots where they could've been another party.
That's it, really.
Non-league's flying.
Yeah.
Non-league is
Listen,
absolutely
when are we
flying.
back with Vibe with 5 then?
I don't know, he's going on about 14 holidays.
It's August.
No,
No, you're here, man. August, we're back with Vibe with 5 this year.
We got loads of shows coming though. Loads of shows. Don't
shows.
skip a beat. We got loads of shows coming. Make sure you subscribe, share, and turn your notifications on because there'll be loads of stuff coming through the pipeline.
Oh yeah, 5 Formations is coming out. That's a show with you and Cams. The first one that's coming out actually in a couple of days. So make sure you check it out. You're going to be reviewing the Barcelona game when you lost 3-1 in the final.
All right, Joe.
No, I'm not even getting at you here. Like that was an
I'm
amazing
gonna though,
team.
because Messi beat you in the air.
It's not the same game, mate.
Oh, it's a different one.
Yeah.
I
So,
think
but
it was that much.
either way, I want you guys to check it out. It's going to be sick. Massive shout out to Sokin, who have been our season sponsors.
Yep.
You guys have been brilliant. And yeah, make sure you stay tuned and we will be back on Vibe with 5 soon.
Thank you, guys.
Peace.